Have you ever wondered why you keep ignoring the signs that the sky do you send so insistently? This is the third time that God in His immense kindness tries to give you a blessing of prosperity that carries your name, and now the clock of the divine opportunity marks His last decisive minute. If you choose to stay until the end of this sacred message, something it will change radically in your situation. Economic before this day is over. But if you close this meeting or ignore this revelation, you might be rejecting the abundant deposit that the Creator reserved exclusively for you. Your presence here is not a coincidence, it is an urgent call and glorious from the source of all wealth. It affirms with faith, I receive my divine prosperity with Jesus. Has known moments when you feel that everything stopped, that your effort does not yield the expected fruit, that the wealth will escape from your hands, and that no door the opportunity seems to be opening up without. However, in the deepest part of your soul, a voice whispers to you that an answer is on the way, that God has not forgotten. This is the third time that He tells you about a heavenly deposit, divine transfer of prosperity that has already been released, but out of fear, for doubt, or for believing that it was not for you, you've ignored. Today Jesus says to you, open your ears, open your heart, because the time is running out, and this blessing is not. He will wait much longer. If you stay here until the end, you will feel a release deep in your spirit, and a confirmation so clear that you will know that this message from God was sent directly for your abundance. God has insisted on reaching out to you because a magnificent provision is prepared for your hands, but every time you choose ignoring His voice, you delay the manifestation of what already belongs to you. By divine right, this sacred deposit is not only material, it is a vast spiritual wealth that encompasses all your life. It is the glorious answer to deep prayers that you were raising in secret when no one saw you spill tears. Jesus listened to every plea. He saw every tear, and today He says to you, enough. If in doubt, stop backing down the minute. The rest is symbolic, represents the threshold between waiting and finally receiving the opulence. If you faith drives you, declare, I open my heart to the overflowing provision of God. There is a powerful reason why. This is the third time you have heard this message. When God repeats something, it is because the blessing has already been decreed in heaven, but it requires your acceptance. Here on earth, you've been so absorbed in the challenges that you have not noticed the divine signs, a dream recurring, a prophetic word that is. It crosses your path, an urgency unmistakable in your soul. Don't ignore these heavenly whispers. Jesus is knocking on the door of your life again. Financial, and you just need to open it with an unshakable faith. He doesn't get tired of insisting because He knows that your time of scarcity has come to its the end. This message is not a coincidence. It is a divine reminder that God has a promise of prosperity sealed with your name, and that deposit was never canceled. Just wait for you. Glorious yes, while many are sleeping, the Silo works tirelessly on your please. This word of Jesus comes in the right time to spray the unbelief that has slowed down your path towards abundance. Before continuing with this powerful revelation, we ask you your valuable support for our channel. Help us to carry God's message and its prosperity much further away. Ow. Sow your support, you will receive a harvest of even greater blessings. Simply click the button below, choose the option that moves your heart the most and be part of this divine movement. Amen. It is not just a promise, it's a warning. Loving, if you ignore this one again. Called, you will miss the opportunity to see the impossible to manifest in your life. Financial, but if you decide to stay, listening carefully and believing, the heavens will move with force. Supernatural in your favor, you will see doors of opportunity to open wide, monumental debts to be canceled, miraculously, and people who owed you to remember his commitment to you, to restore your abundance, because God's promises are not just words. They are just waiting for your obedience and faith. Sometimes you feel that nothing changes because your eyes. People see the lack, but Jesus, the King of abundance, see your future. Glorious, he knows that you are just one step of a complete transformation, and that is why today he insists with a firm voice, no. Ignore my divine deposit anymore, not him. Turn your back on your sacred heritage. It is time to receive without fear, to allow that the spiritual and material opulence flood your hands. If you stay until in the end, you will receive a prophetic word that will reveal to you exactly which door of prosperity will be opened first. But if you decide to leave, if you close your heart, once again, you'll still be in the same place, without moving forward, without seeing the glorious promise fulfilled. Your destination of abundance is not. He can be stopped by doubt every time that you ignore the voice of God. Golden opportunity is delayed, but it's never, ever canceled. He returns to speak. He insists again, because his love for you is eternal. It doesn't matter if you have failed, if you gave up, or if you thought that it was too late. Jesus does not count your mistakes. He celebrates your attempts to believe again. And today, in this minute, crucial and decisive, he tells you, create another. Once, my beloved, he can multiply little that you possess in quantities. Amazing, it can open doors of opportunity that no human being can open up. You can deposit in your account abundance that does not come from effort, human, but of his divine grace and miraculous. This message from God did not come to scare you, but to wake you up to your inheritance of wealth. A powerful spiritual movement is happening right now, and you are an essential part of him. Jesus has chosen you to receive a revelation of prosperity that not all they are prepared to understand, but for that you need to stay with the completely open heart. No. Ignore what you're feeling in this instant, because it's not a coincidence. It is his glorious presence. It's Jesus reminding you that the divine prosperity, it is also an act of obedience. When you say yes to his voice, you are allowing the deposit of heaven find thee on the way to your name. Have you felt the time pressure, the tiredness of the wait, the anguish of seeing doors closed? But today the spiritual clock mark the last minute. It's not the end. It is the beginning of your fulfillment. Glorious, God is about to reverse your story of lack to one of abundance, but it's up to you to remain in unshakable faith. There are angels of prosperity on the move. There are promises of wealth being activated. There are accounts being touched by the miraculous hand of Jesus. No. Ignore the sacred urge to stay until the end, because in the next second something powerful will be activated. Inside of you, you will feel a deep peace, renewed hope and certainty. Absolutely that this time the deposit. He will be released completely. It is the right time to declare with your mouth what you believe in your heart. He states, I don't close my heart to the abundance of Jesus, every word written and declared. With faith he opens invisible doors of prosperity. Don't underestimate the power of your statement, because when you write, you are activating the sacred agreement between the earth and the sky. Jesus is waiting for that answer to release what has already been approved and stamped with your name. He doesn't. He's forgotten. He just hopes that you say with conviction, I'm ready for my prosperity. And when you say it, everything will start moving. What was stagnant for years will start to flow with strength. What seemed lost, he will return, but multiplied amazingly. Because God, the supreme ruler, it never fails. He's just waiting for you. Brave decision to believe. And today, as you absorb this message from Jesus, you are one step away from seeing the miracle of the abundance will manifest in your life. Keep your heart open, because the last minute is not for fear. It's to make a transformative decision. Are you going to ignore this blessing again, or you are going to receive the opulent abundance that is it legitimately yours? The answer. It resides in your faith. There is a profound reason by which this message arrives just now, when you thought there was no more left. Hopes, when you felt that everything that you had tried had been vanished without result. Jesus does not you. He has never forgotten, and although days passed of apparent silence, he always observed your steps, waiting for the exact moment to talk to you again. That moment is this very moment. You are being called once again, because the deposit of your prosperity is still vibrant and active in the sky, and just needs your acceptance here on earth. I don't know. It's only about money. It's about your divine purpose of a restoration, complete, of a new time that it starts with a decision. Unwavering, believe in your abundance. This final minute is not punishment. It's a sign of his infinite mercy. It is the golden opportunity that God gives you to correct the course and open up your heart to the wealth that was always yours by spiritual right. You feel that weight on my chest, that mixture of anxiety and hope, because your soul recognizes the transcendent truth behind these words. You can't keep doubting anymore. You can't keep closing your ears to Jesus' loving call for your prosperity. He doesn't want to see you trapped in cycles of loss and frustration. He longs to give you something permanent, something that radically transforms your way of to live and to prosper. But he needs your total surrender, without fear, without conditions, because the blessing of your blessing of prosperity does not. It depends on the men. It depends on your obedience to his voice. What is for getting there is not measured in monetary figures, but in its transformative impact. It will be something that will change your environment, touch deeply to your family, and will mark a before and after in the history of your life. Because when Jesus decides to release a blessing, no one and nothing can to stop her, neither the doubt, nor the time, nor the human disbelief. He has already written your destination of wealth, and just wait for your glorious amen. When you say yes, the sky, he will also sign what was already approved. From the first call, God does not you. He brought up to this point to abandon you. Right on the verge of your miracle, he wants to teach you that even in the last Minute there's still a hope. Radiant for your abundance, the door that didn't open will open wide. The account that was empty will be filled. Of riches, the promise that seemed. The dead will be resurrected with power, but you need to believe with all your being, because faith is the master key that activates all that heaven has in store for you, and it's not just about receiving money, it's about getting your divine purpose, your overflowing joy, and your clear vision for a life of fullness and opulence. Jesus is watching your decision right now. He's not looking for your flawless perfection. Search for your sincere disposition and your heart open. He does not crave a religiosity empty. He longs for a deep sincerity in your faith. If you decide to believe, you will see what supernatural to manifest in your life with abundance. If you decide to hesitate, you will continue stuck in the same cycle of lack. The difference lies in one and powerful word, faith. That's why he tells you no, and it is no more. This is your minute. Decisive, your golden moment for the prosperity. You've reached this point because God in his immense love wanted to find you. Nothing was a coincidence, not even the message, neither the time nor your thoughts before opening it. Everything was part of a perfect celestial design to let you know that there is still a glorious opportunity to receive the abundance that is yours by right. Divine, don't run away, don't close your heart again. Jesus He's begging, stay beloved, because your miracle of abundance is about to manifest with power. This is not a common message, passenger. It is a sacred conversation between your soul and God himself, and even if the world can't understand it, you know deep down of your being that something real and transformative. It's happening inside of you. It is being lighting a flame of faith, unbreakable, that you thought turned off. That flame is the unmistakable sign that the deposit of your prosperity is being activated at this very moment. Very soon you will see tangible fruits, sign, clear and powerful confirmations. Why? You'll know that this time it was different because you didn't ignore him this time. Once you chose to believe in abundance. Divine, time is running out, but not for scare you, but to push you with strength towards your destiny. Every second what happens is a precious opportunity to declare with conviction that no, you will go back, that your era of scarcity has done. This final minute is not for losing, is for deciding. Are you going to continue hesitating, or are you going to receive the opulent, the abundance that Jesus prepared meticulously for you? He is you, waiting with the hands divinely extended, with a deposit of prosperity that already bears your name. Sacred, don't turn him down again. It's your time, your cue, your answer to years of waiting, and when you take that step of faith, all of heaven will celebrate that. Finally you said, yes, sir, I receive the immeasurable abundance that is mine. By divine right, the silence that you has surrounded lately does not mean I quit. Beloved means one meticulous and divine preparation for the greatest season of prosperity. Jesus has. I was silent because I was organizing every detail, moving every piece gloriously in your favor. What? He seemed completely stuck. He is a point of moving with a force supernatural and explosive, and this message arrives to confirm to you that your waiting, no, it was in vain, that every tear sown, it will bear fruit. You've been through trials that they made you doubt your worth. your divine purpose, and even from the voice of, "Oh God, but He never left you." I was watching how every tear of yours, it became a seed of faith, as your spirit was kept alive in spite of that the ground seemed arid, and now the magnificent harvest of your prosperity has arrived. Don't ignore her this time, because heaven does not repeat these opportunities infinitely. Jesus is telling you, this is your hour of wealth and abundance, not the waste with fear. There is something powerful that the enemy has willed hiding from you. Your name goes on gloriously, written in the promise of prosperity. Even if you have failed, even if you have fallen, God, in His immense grace, crossed your name out of the book of His blessings. What He talked about you on your abundance, follow fully. It is in force and it manifests itself. That treasure celestial was never canceled. It was sheltered until your heart was ready to receive the fullness. And today, at this instant, the heaven recognizes that you are ready. You spirit is more sensitive, more attentive, more willing than ever. Therefore, this message is not a simple coincidence. It is the fulfillment of a promise of abundance. If you ignore it again, the cycle of scarcity repeats itself. But if you embrace it, that cycle is broken forever. He proclaims, I break the cycle with Jesus. Stop believing that you need to understand all to receive your riches. That God's greatest blessings are not. They understand, they accept each other with faith. Jesus knows. It asks for human logic. It asks for a unshakable confidence. He knows that your thoughts are tired of calculating, of trying to control the how and the when of your prosperity. But the heavenly kingdom does not work with the limited human logic. It works with the powerful spiritual obedience. Every time that you let go of control, the miracle of the abundance is advancing. Every time you trust without seeing, the vast deposit of your inheritance is activated. Don't get distracted. No despair. Do not give place to the most minimal dud. This message is not just one promise, is the golden key that opens the doors of prosperity that have been closed for years. The minute that remains, it's not a limit, it's an invitation. Glorious to your abundance. Jesus does not you hurry up to scare you, but it is you waking up so that you don't let the exact time of your financial release and spiritual. There are doors of wealth that they only open when the soul says yes. Reservations. This is that crucial moment. Your yes will move a cascade of blessings that you can't even imagine. The angels are already on the move to delineate the treasures. The paths of your success are getting straightened out, and the favor divino is positioning himself to play your name with a prosperity overflowing. You've waited too long to hesitate again. Now you have suffered too much to close your heart just when the reward of your abundance, it is coming in fullness. God has not been testing to punish you, but to strengthen your faith, so that you will not depend on visible signs, but on the inner certainty that He is still working miracles on your behalf, because the true faith is not measured in what your eyes see, but what you choose to believe in. Even tangible evidence. Today that faith is being put to the test. One more time for you to ascend to a higher level of prosperity. No. Step back. Don't close your ears to this message of life. Jesus is speaking to you with tenderness and divine authority. It's you remembering that the time has already passed for. To ignore, to reject, to fear the abundance, it is time to receive with hands open all that the sky He prepared with such care and richness for you. Look around you, although it seems that nothing changed, something invisible and powerful has already moved in your atmosphere. There are divine vibrations that only the Spirit perceives, and you are feeling that energy right now. It is the announcement. It is obvious that a liberation, glorious, has been released in your favor. The wealth of your prosperity is descending, and no enemy will be able to stop him, because this time there will be no doubt and no resistance, no fear in your heart. Jesus decreed that wealth and the blessings that belong to you, they will reach, even if you try to run away from them. You can no longer hide from the overflowing grace of God. Think about all the times you felt that God was. He forgot about you in those moments when you cried out and heard no answer. This message is the answer that both you were waiting, the heavenly echo that nothing was lost. It was only delayed because the time was not ripe for your full prosperity, but now the clock celestial marks the fulfillment. Everything that belongs to you is coming back to you with an amazing multiplication. What was held for years will be released in just one word, and when you do, you'll see how it all fits together, how every no of the past had a profound meaning, as every waiting had a glorious purpose. Jesus is calling you to a new level of trust, where you will no longer live fear of losing, but of overflowing joy of receiving. He doesn't He wants to beg emotional crumbs or financial. He wants you walking in the fullness of your divine inheritance. That's why this deposit is not just money, it is the symbol of a total restoration, and glorious. What it represents is much more greater than any material quantity. Represents the closure of cycles of scarcity, full forgiveness, restitution, complete of all that is lost, in a abundance without measure. When you receive, you will understand that everything that it looked like pain was actually a divine preparation for your victory more big. Don't ignore the deep feeling that you have now, that warmth in the chest, that peace that is mixed with a cry. People who had forgotten you, they will search again. Opportunities that they seemed closed, they will open wide in pair without any explanation. What before it was costing you an exhausting effort, now it will flow without difficulty, because when God approves of something, no human hand it can stop your flood of abundance. It doesn't matter if they rejected you, if they talked too bad about you, if they closed doors on you. Jesus, He will defend you against those who they turned their backs, and the same ones that you denied. They will be astonished witnesses of the favor and the prosperity that they will reach. And when that happens, you will remember this moment. You will remember that this final minute was actually the glorious beginning of the fulfillment of your wealth. That silence was not absence divine, but a wise strategy. That the delay was not punishment, but maturity to receive your abundance, and that this message was not a coincidence, but your manifest destiny. Jesus is sealing your process with a resounding victory and unlimited prosperity. He doesn't need human approval to pour out His blessings on you, because the order has already been given in heaven. There was only your answer missing, and today you are giving with unwavering faith, with humility, and with total dedication. So know Topics, do not hesitate, do not depart from this. The path of abundance, the demonstration of your prosperity is closer to the. What can you imagine? The deposit will be visible, tangible and glorious in its fullness. Why? When you receive it, never forget that it was the faith that activated him. Jesus chose you. He spoke to you 3 times insistently. Divine, and this time you listened with the heart. This minute will not mark the final, it will mark the beginning of a new season of plenty, where you will walk with immense confidence, knowing that when God promises, he fulfills in a way majestic, and although the world does not understand, you will know for sure that it was all worth it, because this time I didn't. You ignored the voice that called you by your name. Jesus is not waiting for you perfection, but your total surrender to his plan of abundance. It is not about how many times have you fallen, but of how many are you willing to get up and to declare, Lord, I still believe in your unlimited prosperity. This is one of those moments that define destinies. No, you are facing empty words, but in front of a spiritual portal that can radically transform your story into a tale of wealth. There are areas of blessing that are only opened when someone decides to respond with faith, unwavering, and you're being summoned to that, to respond with a open heart, with the expectation turned on and the certainty that this time it will not be like the previous ones. Jesus, no. It comes with the same word. He comes with a new dimension of favor, with the highest level of disclosure of prosperity, with a transfer of abundance prepared exclusively for you. You can't keep living as if nothing transcendent was happening, because something great is happening while the world keeps up with its rhythm. Naturally, the sky is orchestrating the supernatural, the invisible, getting ready to invade your life with a favor overflowing. You have overcome seasons difficult, because in every wound, in every silence, and in every rejection there was a divine purpose, all to bring you to this crucial point in your life. And now, just when you despair, I was lurking, and you were about to give up completely, Jesus surprises you once more with this message of abundance. For what at this moment, because the immense deposit of blessings was ready, but you weren't there yet for receive it. Today everything has changed. Today you are able to receive with joy what you might have despised before, doubted or rejected. Proclaims, I accept the God's plan. This message comes like a rain, life-giving on arid land, irrigating the withered and sin areas, color of your life, making it sprout, faith for prosperity again, overflowing, although you often felt insufficient or unworthy of great blessings. God does not call the already qualified, but it qualifies those who he calls. You were chosen, you were set aside for a great purpose. There are a specific anointing on your name, a promise of abundance marked with your history, and now that the sky is speaking to you urgently, you can't afford silence your answer. This is your opportunity to cry out with all your soul. Here I am, sir. I will no longer ignore the immense prosperity that comes from you. You recognize that a lot of things you tried by your own strength without success, and that doors banged insistently. They remained closed, but it was not because God didn't want to bless you. It was because he didn't want you to attribute your victory to your own effort. I wanted you to know that the whole prosperity that you will receive will come only by His undeserved grace, it that heaven has prepared for you I don't know. Purchase, it is not negotiated, it is not earned by merits, it is received with humility. It He accepts with deep faith and protects himself with reverent obedience today while you absorb these words, a certainty. The interior floods you. You know that you are in front of something sacred, an eternal truth. Of abundance, don't ignore this powerful conviction, for it is the Spirit of Jesus speaking directly to your soul. Can you remember how many times you felt lacking courage? How many times did you think that your mistakes had nullified your promises of abundance? Today Jesus is coming to destroy that limiting thought. He didn't cancel anything, He just postponed your blessing to protect you from receiving it ahead of time, because of wealth outside of your station you can become in a burden, but a blessing in the divine moment becomes a unstoppable momentum of prosperity, and that is precisely what awaits you. Divine impulse, an acceleration. Supernatural, a manifestation so evident and glorious that you will not need explain it, for everyone will see clearly that it was God's work. You are not found here for a simple emotion, but for a divine direction. You were guided to this message for a deep need, to renew your faith, to try again, to say without fear of abundance. Jesus doesn't expect you to understand everything. He just longs for your full confidence. He has already paved the way. He has arranged for the key people, has moved every piece necessary. Now it's up to you. Position yourself with active faith, because a passive faith does not activate the treasures heavenly, but a faith positioned, it opens up new dimensions of prosperity. You are on the verge of experiencing something unimaginable in your life, and it all starts with a simple decision to believe that the deposit of your wealth is real and is in way. Do not underestimate the importance of this instant.